Hi, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
Welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame. Well, Jim, I don't know if you saw, but in the NHL there was a little story this week. Wasn't very big. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going on in the NHL, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But some guy named Sidney Crosby is back, I mean, just silently kind of just slipped back into the lineup, which I really thought was good.
Yeah, he was on vacation or something, wasn't he, for a bit?
I think he was on vacation.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
I've heard the name before. Isn't he from Canada?
He might be from Canada. I'm not 100% sure.
The World Junior team, I think.
Oh, the World Junior team. That's where I know him from. That's
Sidney
where I know
Crosby.
him from. That makes sense.
And I think he worked at Sport Check.
Yeah, and I think he likes Gatorade. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard this about him, yes.
Exactly.
Before and after a workout.
That's exactly. But only if you can take a slap shot in really slow motion. That's the only time you want the Gatorade.
Hey, you haven't lived until you've taken a slap shot in slow motion. And have it come off your stick in fast motion.
That's right, exactly. No, but with all seriousness, Sidney Crosby returned after missing another few months with a concussion or neck issue or both, I suppose. What do you think, Jim?
Well, from what I saw, he looked good. I mean, he took a few bumps here and there, seemed to respond okay to it. And you can't ignore the points he's picked up since being back, I suppose.
Yep.
He got an assist after the fact on his return. So he finished that game with 2 assists. I believe he got 3 the next night. So most importantly, though, I guess, would be the winning streak of the Pittsburgh Penguins continuing. Because I thought there might, even though he is the best player in the world, and you'd love to have him on your roster, I thought maybe anytime you bring a guy back when things are really working for your team, you run the risk of maybe ruining or messing with the chemistry a little bit. But excuse me, he came back and he's done phenomenal so far. And the real big thing is he's taken a few bumps and things seem to be okay upstairs.
Absolutely. How sick are the Pittsburgh Penguins right now, though, Jim? I mean, they were 10-0 when he came back. They're 12-0 right now. Chris Letang also came back that game, was a +5 that game. Absolutely unbelievable. I saw a stat that Crosby, Malkin, and Stahl had only played in the past 2 years 8 games where they were all in the lineup at the same time. But now they're all in the lineup at the same time. Can you imagine what this team... I don't know how they don't win the Stanley Cup.
I'd say they were favorites before this, but you got to think that they're a little even further favorites at this point.
Yeah.
The way Malkin is playing, especially.
Oh, Malkin's absolutely out of this world. We lose Taylor Hall in Edmonton, and Jordan Eberle will step up, but nothing like when Malkin steps up when Crosby's out of the lineup. I mean, and it doesn't seem to hurt as well. It doesn't seem like a lot of guys. If they're not the only one on the team performing, if there's someone else of the same skill, they won't perform as well. But it doesn't seem like that. It just seems like the 1-2 punch there is amazing. Reminds me of Gretzky on one line and Messier on another line. Like, just the 1-2 punch is absolutely out of this world.
No, let's just take it easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't give it, but no, they are 2 of the best players in the game right now. I think Evgeny Malkin is the best player in the NHL right now, for my money. Just the way he's dominated, and some of these goals he's scoring, where he's taking on an entire team, coast to coast, and then making the goalie look silly. Like, he's really stepped things up in the last couple of months of this season.
Absolutely. Reports say over 2 million Canadians tuned in to watch the game. What's more surprising to you, Kersey, the fact that 2 million people watched, or the fact that 2 million people have TSN 2?
Well, I don't have it, so I would have watched probably. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny that I was surprised really that the game stayed on TSN 2. But I guess when a guy's regularly coming back from long absences, it kind of loses its luster a little bit. But no, I mean, it's impressive that everyone's all over it, and they want to see this kid. But I guess he's not a kid anymore. But it's surprising numbers, and I got to say he didn't disappoint.
No, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the Edmonton Oilers, as we tend to do on our Edmonton-based podcast/video blog. They dropped 4 in a row against the Flames, then closed out the season series with back-to-back wins. Taylor Hall, though, he didn't last very long. Wasn't much of a win for him, though. What happened there?
No, absolutely wallpapered by Corey Sarich. He kind of fell as the hit was coming, so it looked a lot worse than what it probably could have been. I think he was getting set up to be smoked anyways, but the way he fell sort of accentuated the head contact, and his head smacked off the ice, and he just kind of lay there with his arms out for a second, and that's never a good sign.
No.
But I think he seems to be responding well, and they're going to kind of be careful with him, obviously, because concussions, and Tom Rennie having had one this year, he knows. But they're going to be careful with it. But it doesn't seem like he's really hurting too bad. At least the initial reports the following day. I kind of felt bad for Corey Sarich, though, because he had to answer that question about 100 times. Just kind of said I was coming in for the hit, and he fell, and
that's that.
Yeah, that's my job, is to hit. So I tried to hit, and but yeah, I mean, it was a big hit. It ended up being a pretty good game for the Oilers, though.
Taylor Hall just plays with reckless abandon. We've talked about it before. This is the way he played in junior. He always plays on the edge, and when it was against smaller players, it wasn't a big a deal. And I suspect in about 2 years, when he puts on another 15 pounds or so, it probably won't be a big deal again. But this transition period, boy, he's putting himself in a lot of vulnerable positions. That's for sure.
Yeah, every now and then you get smoked. That's just the
way it works.
She goes.
It was a great game for some other guys in Hall's absence. The Oilers won't be lifting the Stanley Cup this year, but there certainly are, Jim, 2 guys who might wind up a little hardware this year.
Yeah, well, Tom Rennie was asked about the potential of Jordan Eberle winning the Lady Byng and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins taking the Calder. The Calder is one we've all thought about. I mean, Nugent-Hopkins he's played a ton less games, 10 or 15, it seems, less games than the 2 other guys sort of really in the thick of the Calder race, and he's got about the same number of points. So you got to think that he's right in there for consideration. But the interesting one is Jordan Eberle with the Lady Byng, because coming into this weekend, he's got about 69 points and 8 penalty minutes, which is pretty awesome. That's exactly what the criteria kind of is, and that seems to be the way they pick them. So really, if he's not being considered for it, it's almost a bit of a travesty. But it's that'd be nice. You got to think that'd be nice to see a couple of Oilers up there during the award show. That'd be leave a good taste in people's mouths heading into next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see how RNH doesn't win the Calder Cup the Calder trophy this year. You're right, exactly. He's played 10 or 15 less games and's got the same amount of points, basically. We'll see what happens in the next 8 games to finish out the season. The Eberle as the Lady Byng, if you look at the run of 6 or 8, I think it is now, that Pavel Datsyuk got, you look at the points versus the penalty minutes, and they're about the same, to tell you the truth. I mean, Pavel Datsyuk might have had a few more points, and maybe meant a little. Well, no, I was gonna say meant a little more to his team, but no, probably not as compared to Eberle. How important Eberle is to the Oilers, but I think if he's not considered, that's an insult. But he may even, if he doesn't win, it might even be an insult. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, just a funny sort of side stat. He's got more power play goals than penalty minutes. So
there you go.
He's out of the box, but he excels on special teams.
Speaking of young guys, did you see Jeff Skinner got suspended late in the week?
Yeah, apparently Brendan Shanahan is... I thought he was pro-kicking, but I guess he's against players kicking each other.
He's not pro-kicking. He's anti-kick. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
I got you.
I make the mistake sometimes, too, in my head.
Right.
It was more of a push-off. I don't know if I'd call it a kick. Like when you picture, if you haven't seen it and you hear that Jeff Skinner kicked somebody, you're thinking, whoa,
totally.
Tee off on him, kicked the field goal. But no, it was kind of he sort of put his foot on him and pushed off a little bit.
Well, he'll know better for next time.
But still, you can't go around kicking people.
That's right.
Jeff.
Exactly. Let's talk a little basketball now. The NCAA tournament is on, March Madness. I love March Madness. I don't know
basketball.
What is this, basketball?
You love basketball.
I do love my basketball. But 15 seed beat a 2 seed. Actually, there were 2 of them in the first part of the tournament. But Duke lost. Duke lost, Jim.
Mm-hmm. That's what the tournament's all about, right? That's what gets the fringe fans talking when there's big upsets.
Oh, totally. I don't think anybody was picking Duke to lose, though. I don't know how anybody's bracket is still alive. There's just no way. Like, there were 2 15 seeds that beat 2 seeds. Absolutely amazing. Mike Krzyzewski, which, by the way... Krzyzewski. I don't know if listeners or watchers remember, but we made fun of this last year, and it's been 1 year since, so we're going to make fun of it again. Coach K, exactly.
There you go.
Coach. Anyways, he looked pretty rough there when he went to go shake the hand of the other guy. The other coach is absolutely amazing. But yeah, big upset. I don't know how the brackets are. I don't know if anybody can even win a bracket now.
Well, I didn't fill one out because it's too much for me. But I'll tell you this. I'd be in the same position as I am right now had I filled one out.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
No harm, no foul, I guess.
Exactly. We're going to move on to the GABBYs now. Let's give a good to the Finnish Flash, Jim. Teemu Selanne, who picked up his 1,400th career point in a shutout of the Red Wings last week. He's the gift that just keeps on giving for the Anaheim Ducks. Love watching this guy play still. Good for Teemu.
Yeah, and he's over 60 points again. It's almost over 60. I love that. I love when these older players just keep, they've got the passion for the game still, and they've got the skill.
Yep.
And, I love it. I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit of a milestone-heavy good side this week. Jeff, let's give a nod to Tampa Bay's Steven Stamkos for notching his 50th goal of the season. That puts him in some pretty elite company with multiple 50-goal campaigns so early in his career. Attaboy.
Guy's a pure goal scorer. I love watching him play, and he does it in the southeast corner, and just, nobody really watches him until you're like, oh, 50? Huh, interesting. And a good to Mr. Universe, the NHL's Mr. Universe, Ilya Bryzgalov, one of the favorites of the NHL this year because, of course, of him doing his thing on NHL 24/7 with HBO. Despite all that criticism, though, he's put up some great numbers, including the Flyers' new franchise record shutout streak. I don't know if you know this, but Philly's been around for a long time. So to put up a franchise record is pretty big. No one scored on him in 249 minutes. That broke, John Van Beesbrook's old record by over a period. Fantastic. Good for him.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
No kidding.
John Van Beesbrook. Oh. Wow. On the bad side this week, the goalie for the United Arab Emirates soccer team that's coached by known hothead Diego Maradona has been banned 17 matches for attacking an opposition coach following a 1-0 loss. Gotta love soccer. And, when they say attack, I think it was a slap, honestly. So that just makes it funnier.
Oh, soccer is awesome. How about a bad to the AAA affiliate of the New York Yankees? The Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees will play the entire 144-game International League season on the road because of renovations of on their home turf. Good time to sign up for an Air Miles card, though, if you're part of the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees. Wow, 144 games on the road. Brutal.
Yeah, that's terrible. And even just from a player's perspective, pack your bags.
We've got I know Scranton and Wilkes-Barre is pretty far on the other side of the country, but we've got a perfectly good, John Ducey Park here in Edmonton that these guys could play out of for the year.
Very good point.
Exactly.
They probably still need the extra air miles, though.
That's true.
Finally, a bad to Brazilian soccer player Adriano. We talked about him a few weeks ago when the team locked him in their group hotel and fed him a strict diet and worked him out, and all in an effort to get him back in shape because he was lagging a little bit after an injury. Well, didn't work. So Corinthians has decided to lose some weight of its own, and they have since cut him.
So that's what happens, I guess. The punchline this week is the Orlando Predators of one of my favorite leagues, the Arena Football League. I love
right behind the lingerie football league.
This is what I'm saying. If you can throw a ball the entire field, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's some trouble between the players and the league itself and the owners, and players make about $400 a game.
Yeah.
Which is much, I guess. But it's not bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But they want more. They want a lot more than that. As negotiations wore on and the season approached, the Predators cut their entire roster and just replaced them with local football players. So, take that.
Exactly.
Players.
Wow.
I guess they probably wish they had a players' union at this point.
I would say so. That's exactly right. Well, folks, that's our 15 Minutes of Fame up for this week. Join us again next week when we get a whole new 15 Minutes of Fame. In the meantime, I am Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
Have a good week, folks.